Yeah. Sheesh. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. Watch us how we move like this. Watch us how we move. Oh, yeah. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. whatever you do. This post-breast cancer needs everyone to care. This global illness needs everyone to care. Now wherever you go, you go. Yes, we know we must win. We will fight this thing called cancer. We are champions. We are black people. We are care. We will win. Yes, we know we must win. We will fight this thing called cancer. We are champions. We are black people. We are care. We will win. If we fight, we won't lose. We won't fail if we faith love. We will overcome. Prostate cancer wherever. No matter what we do, we know we fail at all. We know we fail at all. We know they move forward. We know they give up for life. Because I care, you care. Yes, we know we must win. We will fight this thing called cancer. We are champions. We are black people. We like care. We will win. Yes, we know we must win. We will fight this thing called cancer. We are champions. We are black people. We like care. We will win.
Trust me, you will be okay. You'll fight through it. I am fine. I'm 45 now. I feel great. I can go to the gym and work out with the big dogs. Trust me, I can. And that's after me having prostate and really lost everything. I have no strength or none of that. But I work myself back up where I'm at. I feel great. It can happen, guys. Trust me on this.
All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, wherever you happen to be watching our iCCaRE live screening room from. Just want to give a special thank you to all of our viewers and for everyone that will be joining us a little bit later. We welcome you to the iCCaRE Consortium screening session. We're very excited for you to join us today as we continue to highlight the incredible people that work behind the scenes here at the iCCaRE Consortium. Now, today we're going to be featuring two different episodes from our iCCaRE Insider series, hosted by Stephen Johnson, which I'm sure you guys have already gotten a little familiar with his face, as he has been the host to a number of our iCCaRE series. Now, throughout these conversations, we're able to learn more about our team members, their roles, their experiences, as well as their passion and what they bring to our mission. For our first segment, we will be hearing from Mr. Daniel Lee as he shares more about his personal journey with his role and all of the work that he does here with the iCCaRE Consortium. So without any further ado, let's get into this very first episode featuring Daniel Lee.
All right. Welcome all to, as always, a great space where we're going to have candid conversations. We're going to have a great time talking with the people who are behind the progress with iCCaRE. With me today is Mr. Daniel Lee, and we're going to spend some time talking with him today, spending some time to get to know him more, what he does for iCCaRE, and more importantly, the connection and bridging the gap between iCCaRE and the community. So Daniel, welcome to the space. How are you?
Doing great. Awesome. A pleasure to be here. I'm excited to share my thoughts and outlook upon what I do and bring for iCare.
Well, hey, we are excited that you're with us too. So, before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do for iCare, and going from there.
Cool. So, Daniel Lee, 34. My birthday is in a month, October 3rd. So, shout out to the Libras.
All
But
right,
I
happy
am,
birthday.
thank you. I'm a senior biostatistician. Got my bachelor's and master's in statistics. And eventually, well, next year we'll be getting my PhD. We're starting my PhD in epidemiology. But as a statistician, my job is to take data sets in different ways, clean the data set, and then allow myself with different softwares, different coding packages that I use to tell the story, um, and tell the story for me and my colleagues who understand the numbers at a high level, but then articulate it in a way where people who are not from this discipline can understand and still gain the rich insights that we have.
Awesome. Well, we are glad, and it sounds like you do a lot of stuff from the technical, or I would say the internet point of view on telling that story. And also congratulations too on your further development and education. Well, I love it. I love it. I love it. And again, happy birthday, early birthday to you. So as we're getting ready to start, we're first gonna be talking about your professional and personal journey. What brought you to iCare?
So I used to work before. Once I graduated with my master's in statistics, I was at a tax consulting firm, adding my insights and defending different statistical samples to the IRS, explaining it to engineers, lawyers, C-suite executives. But it wasn't giving me the fulfillment that I was hoping for. Yeah, we're making these companies richer and they're saving a lot of money and millions of dollars. And I created this new methodology for this company and they're making more and more money. But I didn't feel fulfilled to where I'm leaving an imprint and leaving empty and doing everything I can to just put myself out there. So once I began starting with Mayo Clinic, a different group of projects that we get assigned to. But when I was blessed to be really focused on the eye care, where I'm doing analysis that affects me personally as I get older. Like I said, I'm 34, so I'll need to get tested for sure in the next 6 years for prostate cancer. So it hit home for sure for me, for the people that I see, my community. Um, but that's what got me to eye care, to do the same discipline for a better purpose or a greater purpose. I'll say a greater purpose, in my opinion.
Awesome. You brought up a good point when you talk about time. As I said, as we get older, time seems to move more quickly. So before you know it, those 6 years are going to come up and you're going to have to think about, the other side of health.
So I'm excited as I grow to just link arms with people my age and above to 35, 36. We're getting more and more people tested. And next, I'm 40 and now I have 1,000 people who are going to get tested with me this year, quote unquote. So that's a dream and something that would be huge in my eyes.
Yeah, and they also talk about how early detection saves lives.
Yeah.
So, the earlier the better. So I love it. And trust me, you're going to get to those numbers before you know it, Daniel, before you know it. When it comes to health, because I said you are now in the healthcare field, and when you think of accessible health, good quality health, great quality or great health, things of that nature, what does that look like for you personally and professionally?
And when you say great health and healthcare, I feel if I ask 100 men, do you have good healthcare? It would be biased and subjective, and it would be really on the threshold that we're used to, accustomed to, as in different races and counterparts, their expectations of healthcare may be vast and different than ours. So we feel like we are getting good healthcare and great healthcare, but really it's sublime to different other groups. I forgot the question, but when you said that, I thought that. But what's your question again?
No, that was
Yeah.
it. What does good or accessible, great
Yeah.
healthcare look like for
I
you,
think
or professionally or personally as well?
I think a good healthcare is and this is huge, a place where you feel comfortable and you feel
Mm.
relaxed and you feel a safe space and you're not rushed and really have ample time. Maybe like the last 5 minutes, let's just sit here and then just sit, ask me questions, and we'll just sit in silence. Because people, I've learned, people don't ask questions that they have. And if I made you have a question, you'll have something. But most of the time, people won't ask the question that they have, either due nervousness or don't want to seem not smart or educated question, or I should know this already. So a great healthcare is a place where allows, and it's tailored for each individual, allows them, because people react to different things differently. Sometimes I need to coach somebody. I have 3 kids, so sometimes my oldest daughter, I know I need to say, "Oh, you're not ready. I thought you were going to rise to the top,"
Hmm.
and then I know she'll engage with that. Okay, I am going to do it, Dad. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go. But my second daughter, she won't. She'll cower up, and I won't say cower up. That's my queen. She'll shell up more so, and she'll need more of that nurturing. So if I say, "Oh, I thought you were ready. You're going to do it," she might shut down even more. So great healthcare is a space where it allows each individual to be themselves and express things in their own way, but gets the expression out of them in any kind of way.
And you brought up a good point because we're all unique, we're all different, and we may be a diagnosed with the same thing, but how we go about it and how
Mhm.
it's treated and how it's cared for and who we talk to is different for everyone. And we have to tailor those things to
Yeah.
get good health care, great health care. So great point there, Daniel. When you realize, because you said you started in a different realm than
Mhm.
where you are now in health,
Mhm.
when you were going through that that journey, when did it realize that, okay, this is more than just a job, this
Mhm.
is a career, and this is something that I need to make a lasting impact on?
Good question. So when I first started and I realized other statisticians, they may be here for 15 years, 10 years. So when you see a longevity in a space, that's good. Um, but I realized that this was going to be forever, because I'll tell people I'll be doing this forever. I mean, to
Wow.
get paid to help my people, cool. And to give give God the glory and whatever He wants me to do, cool. So and that's what I knew when it was a career. When I find out that my second uncle has prostate cancer, and I just didn't know,
Mhm.
just because we didn't talk about it. We didn't have conversations in the family. Um, and when I see the staggering numbers of how many black people have prostate cancer and the likelihood of getting it, and as I'm doing more research and analysis and seeing how, until we get more education about it, until we get more focus about it, things won't change. And I guess the last way I knew it was a career was when doing research. So they have something called Happy People, and every 10 years they'll do a research analysis about the country and the state of the country, on different diagnoses. But in general, in 2030, they want prostate cancer mortality rate to be about 17% or so. And then if it's at that level, America did good, or did great, or did well in that focus. But when you look at the numbers, the mortality rate for black people, African American men, is 32%.
Hmm.
So in 2030, I already know this is going to happen. In 2030, when they say, hey, we did a good job, we lowered the prostate cancer mortality rate, African Americans are still going to be at least at 28%, 25%. So success for America is not success for African Americans. And
Hmm.
that's when it became a full time, lifetime job for me to be that person to help in that space. Because when you see Daniel Lee, senior biostatistician, you don't see a black guy with locks who may be at a concert with golds in his mouth. So, but yeah, I just love to be the oddball in this space.
Well, that's what's about that's what makes you unique.
Mhm.
That's what makes you, because uh, again, I look at the lines of church. If the church is for the people, who are hurting, who are lost, who need help, and if everybody comes there looking like they got it together, then
Yeah.
where's the help? Where's the help? They sit on a high horse, and we're not here for that. We're here
Right.
to help. So we need to have people who from all walks of life, from all type of looks, and say that, hey, I'm here to help, because especially when it comes to prostate cancer, it doesn't it doesn't have a name. It
Yeah.
doesn't have, okay, I'm just going to pick you because you're fit into this category, besides as far as African American men or
Yeah.
black men. But other than that, you can look any type of race, and that
Exactly.
culture, it may come to you.
Yeah.
So we have to get that information. Awesome. When
Yeah.
it comes to, again, because like you're on this journey, you haven't just started yesterday. You talk about your schooling, and how you are bridging the gap and moving forward and becoming more educated. You can't do it on your own.
Mhm.
There are people who are encouraging you. There are people who are influencing you on
Mhm.
why you do what you do.
Mhm.
Who are those people? Who are those people that influence you on the work that you do today?
Great question. And it changes over time. But I say one of the first people who influenced me the most, at least in this space, would be Dr. Odedina. Um, geez, a boss, the Oga on top, as they say. Yeah, I guess in Nigeria. And I might have said it wrong. But just the way she walks in the room and the way the respect that is earned, but just a lady focusing on prostate cancer that is for men, tailored towards men, that is admirable. I mean, because it should have been the other way around in theory.
Yeah.
It should have been a man leading this cause. But overall, that is the most that led me to this journey and encourages me and leads me, and the reason I want to continue to get my education and get my PhD. And also ego wise, whenever they do a presentation, they'll say Dr. Who Daniel Lee. So I do want them to say Dr. Lee as well and keep going. But um, that's one thing for sure. But if you asked me this question a couple of months ago, it would have been different. But another person
Mm.
who's in really guiding me to just go all the way, do everything, leave empty, is my great grandfather, Arthur
Wow.
Lee, who I didn't know and didn't meet. He died, he was born in 1891 and he died in 1971. But he went to World War II in 1942. When he came back in 1944, he bought 300 acres of land in Louisiana.
Mm.
And we found out that we still have land in our name still. So that vision from there to, and they called him Doc Lee. I found out they called him Doc Lee. So I'm like, hey, they gonna call me Doc Lee as well.
All
But
right.
that inspired me more a lot these days to just think about your children's children, think about your neighbor, think about people you come in contact with, lead with love, lead with helping. Um, that's been what's been guiding me, especially for the next 4 years, will be guiding me.
All right, Doc Lee. I love it. All right, Dr. Lee. I love it. I love it. When we are now, so again, your wonderful history, and it's good to hear those things and the ancestral information too as well. I love it. I love it. Switching gears and now going into behind the scenes, now going into your line of work, and how does it affect the community that you serve or want to be a part of? What does a typical day look like? Because when you gave your title and a little bit of what you did, I was like, all I can see is just computer screens, and data. So,
Yeah.
what does a typical day look like for you?
So I do have three screens and then this monitor. So you
Uh-huh.
it is screen, screen, screen. But a typical day looks like, so let me give an example. So there's a lot of different studies we're doing in eye care. And I'll just speak about the latest one, or the one that I'm working on today, the Ironman study. And they're doing the
Mm,
Ironman conference right now.
mhm.
So a typical day yesterday, for example, we have the Ironman data from 3 different sites: Lagos, States, Badagry. There's another site that we have data from. And we met with the different organizers because we don't have, there's a 4th site that we need, and we need to make sure we have that data set. But once we have a clean output of data, my job is to really look at the questions. And when I say data, I'm thinking, okay, you have a survey. They gave you 50 questions on the survey, demographic questions, questions about do you have a family history of prostate cancer? How do you feel about if you got prostate cancer? Do you think it's the end all be all? Do you think it's going to affect your manhood? So you may get a survey and they have these different lists of questions. So once you do the survey and they send it in, and I have the survey on the data side, my job is to make sure everything's clean and uniformed. Hopefully everyone answered all the questions. And now to draw and pull out what commonalities do we have? And how can we analyze it? Do we have a group of people who did have prostate cancer and a group of people who did not? So now we can compare the likelihood of somebody getting tested for prostate cancer. And now after that, we're going to write about it. But there's different ways you can slice a pie, especially if you have 50 questions. So really talking to the investigators and seeing what is the focus? What is your focus on? Yes, there's 50 questions, and we can probably have maybe 4 or 5 different papers from this one intervention survey, getting that information and going from there. Another key thing that I'm working on right now is just seeing the family history of prostate cancer. So if my grandfather had prostate cancer, what's the likelihood that I'll have prostate cancer? And research has shown that when you have 2 or more people that are either your uncle, brother, father, grandfather, the percentage goes maybe 30%, 40%. So when I see these numbers, I see literally when I run the analysis, I just see numbers. So now when I see these numbers, I need to write about it and tailor it in a way that the investigator who knows a lot more than me when it comes to understanding and technical, letting them know what the numbers are saying, but also conveying it for when I'm doing a presentation in the community or when I'm telling different people who are working on the project or might want to work on the project. It's just explaining it to them. But really, it's a routine. I'll get a data set. I didn't want to look at all the questions. I want to see is everything answered, and then breaking up into groups. First thing I need to see is the demographics. How many people is breaking up the races and ethnicities, breaking up the education status, work status. And now that's the first table that you'll usually see in any paper or manuscript, the demographics. Who are we speaking about? And then from there, breaking out the analysis on if we're thinking about survivorship of prostate cancer, if we're thinking about behavioral or attitudes towards getting prostate cancer, things of that nature. But my brain, you can give me 3 questions and I can be working on that for hours. So it takes a lot of me interacting with the investigator or whoever is leading this study to say, am I going too deep? Because I can go and do regression analysis, chi-squared analysis, association analysis. And a lot of times what I'm thinking is not needed. I need to keep it high level. So that's where collaborating with other people allows me to keep it high level to where I'm not confusing everybody by what I understand and what I see it as.
As we hear it so many times, I know I hear it times, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole where you just dig and dig and dig and dig, which leads me to the question to ask of how do you not go down that rabbit? Because I can imagine, I think of data or DNA and how they say one strand has answers and things to millions and a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. How do you not get lost in the weeds and maintain the focus and the ask of you?
Great question. And I think it's evolving. And that might be my struggle, transparently, as I work with other people. Because I don't want to see, it's not taking me a while. I just uncovered something and now I need to clean this up. But I think, let's say I'm working on a project, weekly touch points it's something that allows me to blossom and just optimize my potential and slow me down. A lot of times we'll have a meeting, and sometimes they'll say, "Hey, can we meet in a few weeks?" And my brain, I say, "Let's meet next week," really, because I'm going to start working on it, and I'll have all the answers we need. If I have more time, I'm going to just start coming up with more
Mm.
stuff. And now, since I have access to all the data sets in iCare, I might be comparing, oh, let's look at this Ironman data set versus this SEAL data set. They ask the same questions. And now I'm doing analysis on this. And they're saying, Daniel, we just want a little analysis or just a high level paper. So there's levels to my analysis, and weekly touch points as often as possible allows me to stay focused and refined.
I love that. Sometimes, when we have time to ourselves, it can be good. And then at times it needs to be monitored. So I'm the same way. I can
Yeah.
agree to that. I can agree to that. When it comes to your research and information that you share, and this kind of will lead more, this question can also lead to our next section, which will be teamwork. But how do you make sure that the information that is gathered is protected and shared, especially, or that the information that pertains to our community, the Black and Brown community, minority community, how do we make sure that that information is, as quote unquote, sacred, valued, shared, and that is not just, okay, I'm not a guinea pig or Tuskegee Airmen guinea pig type of thing, but that my information I'm giving you, or my biometrics or whatnot, is of value and is, properly shared and given back to me for better living.
And I think it kind of goes to, why should we trust you, Daniel, or why should we trust what you're
Hmm.
doing? And I think when you're around, just be around, Daniel, or when you're around, it shows that you genuinely care. So different events, we did a men's prayer breakfast at the church I go to. Um,
Hmm.
there was like 100 men who came, and I think it was so beneficial is because they've seen me, they know I care, they know I'm not shady or shisty. They didn't know I
Hmm.
was at Mayo working as a biostatistician, but they realized, okay, he's around, he's not just here and gone. So I think when people are trying to do outreach, go the first time just by going and showing your face, and maybe the next time you're going to be like, okay, let's just, this is the value that I want to add, um, and then going from there. But that's something where a lot of people don't trust, especially the African American community, because I mean, we've been burned too many times. So
Yes.
just showing that I'm with you all, I'm a part, I truly care. Here are the numbers and what they're saying, and it's really good. Where, for example, the men's prayer breakfast, and it kind of shows that you understand what's the real problem is, um, because we'll see the data about how many people have prostate cancer, how many people know somebody that has prostate cancer. But then I go into the room and I ask them to raise their hands if you know somebody that has prostate cancer or XYZ. And then I show them the PowerPoint slide that shows exactly the same amount of people who raised their hands, exactly the research that we're showing. So this is true and factual. So now they have, okay, he's speaking something we can relate, we understand, and now they're more likely to continue. And really keeping it short. Over the longer you go, the more people are not going to listen, and
You're
or
right.
at least miss something. I'll say that
Mm.
the more they're going to miss something, just because fatigue mentally. So keeping it short, allowing breaks of opportunities to do other things. And I think the men's prayer breakfast was good because they came in, they did a survey, and then they had breakfast. Well, they had a little praise and worship, and then they had breakfast, and then after they're done eating breakfast, then we did our presentation. We partnered with MD Anderson, and we did a presentation for them, and the responses were amazing. So I think mixing it up, finding a good setting where people are comfortable and they're enjoying being there, is how you break the barriers of trust down and engagement down.
Wow, amen. I'm glad to hear that that was a successful event. And you said so many different things from being visible. And sometimes being visible doesn't always have to mean talking, but just being visible in the moment, showing that when people say, "Wow, you have shown up consistently in these events," it helps build up trust that way. And then, like you said, adding value to their time, making sure you know when to share with them, when to hold back, when to let them speak, and then give them the information that they were a part of. Switching gears a little bit, tell me, what is the culture of your team? We have to work together in some
Mhm.
ways, and I can only imagine with data, there are so many people in so many different ways. Like I said, I'm here in
Mhm.
Jacksonville, Florida. You're in another, I think you said Houston, Texas,
Houston,
right?
Texas.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so how do you, what does teamwork look like? What
Mhm.
is that culture for you? What is that?
Yeah. Team is on Teams, Microsoft Teams, Zoom. But just first of all, everybody that I work with in iCare, I genuinely could be their friend or colleague on this outside of this work that we're doing. So
Mhm.
we have that mutual respect and likeness about each other. Uh, but around that, just constant communication, trying to be available as much as possible, trying to set up as if I'm working on a project, trying to have touch points that are often weekly, if not every other day, just to keep it fluid and fresh. And really, it's going to take me to visit more because I should be coming every quarter at minimum, just to build that collaboration and just culture. But the culture I see is definitely collaboration, high performance, where we're getting research out there, active. People are active, not being passive about different things when it comes to community engagement. So those are the core values that I try to make sure that I'm bringing, and I see as well.
Awesome. Like I said, I can only imagine. I said, "Oh goodness, Zooms and the beauty of internet. We have come a long way when it comes to just
Exactly.
basic webcam and all that.
Yeah.
We are now able to do shows like these." as,
Exactly.
as we are coming to a close, again, has been such a good and wonderful and heartfelt and full conversation. But all good things sometimes have to come to an end. But as we come to a close, the last part I want to touch upon is looking forward, looking ahead. What does that look like for Dr. Lee? What does that
Yes.
look like for the community he serves and for iCare and the team that y'all serve, the
Yeah.
Black American community and whatnot? What does that look like for you in the next 5 years or so?
Great question. Um, so 34. By the time I'm 40, I would have had my doctorate degree. But what does it look like for me? And to say it in a clean, clear way, whenever we're doing community engagement, and let me say it this way: as a senior biostatistician, you really don't see biostatisticians in the community or doing anything like this engagement. So that's rare in itself. I love it and I enjoy it. And I don't have an issue speaking in front of people and leading presentations. So over these next 4 years, I just see grander scales, bigger opportunities. Whenever we're doing, for example, a cancer conversation, one time we had two older guys, gentlemen come, and at first we try to have 10 to 15 people, and when you have
Mhm.
two people, you're like, más o menos. Well, I guess in Spanish, more or less, that's okay. But every single event, it, something comes out of it. These two people, one guy, he's the manager for the Nigerian soccer club in Houston. And he's saying, hey, I'm going
Wow.
to set you up with all the different captains in Houston and we can have a bigger cancer conversation instead of us two. So, and also with the church, we're at one church right now where we have a partnership going to more churches. Some people may have heard of Shawnee Henderson and Pastor Keon Henderson in Houston, Texas. I
Mhm.
want to go to that church and try to do the same thing to where there's maybe 5 different churches in Houston, Texas, where iCare is around. They know iCare. They're promoting prostate cancer awareness screening on a grander scale. I like the one-on-ones, but I like the moment where I can affect and impact X amount of people greater than 15 people at one time. So if I can do that every month, every week, that's fulfillment for me. Um, and getting as many people tested for prostate cancer as possible and documenting it, because we know, and okay, you went to this, so we've had maybe 50 people come to a cancer conversation, 100 people at the men's prayer breakfast. This was earlier this year, and a month or two ago. So what's changed, and how many people have been tested? I know the pastor who was 46. He said his grandfather had prostate cancer, and he hasn't been tested. So I know iCCaRE, and he has been tested like a few weeks ago when I talked to him. So iCCaRE, 100% led the charge to get the pastor of a church of over 1,000 people get tested for prostate cancer. Otherwise, he would have done it either later or whenever. But I know for sure 100% that iCCaRE is the reason that he got tested for prostate cancer, which changed the church's life and just Houston. I'm trying to be the liaison for Houston, where when I can just go in every door, trying to build community impact and engagement. And just genuinely, it's the God wanted people who had the heart, and he also wanted people who had the skill. First, if you had the skill, he was going to get you. When Moses said, "You got the skill, let's go," and also the heart. So I think whenever you have the heart and the skill, that's when it's going to be fruitful and multiply. So over these next 4 or 5 years, be fruitful and multiply, and I have the heart and the skill. So.
Amen. The heart of God, the heart of Jesus. That's what it's about. I love it. I love it. And serving the community. Last thing before we close, I usually like to say, hey, what is a song or what is a quote? So for you, what is a quote that you will impart to our audience to get them informed? Because like you said, we have to get more people informed. We have to get them engaged. What quote would you leave them with? And why?
So when I was in 5th grade, I was like, I want to have a scholarship called, and I wrote this down, called Dr. Lee's Think Educated, Be Educated Scholarship. So that would be my quote. Think educated, be educated. It's really in your mind first. Whatever you think will be, trust me. So have the mind of change, have the mind of improvement, have the mind of consistency, discipline, health, wellness, peace, love, joy, and then you'll be all that you're thinking of. So think educated, be educated, and whatever educated means to you, that's what it means.
Wonderfully well said. Drop the mic. I am done. I am done. Again, it was great having you on here. Again, I'm going to say Dr. Lee because this is happening. We're speaking it into existence. We are so glad, and continue on your journey. Continue on just being that pillar, that leader in the community. And for anybody, again, for all that are watching today, thank you for being a part and with us on iCCaRE Insider. People behind the progress. More to follow. Continue to watch us. We see you next time and have a great day.
All right. So that was an amazing episode for iCCaRE Insider with Mr. Daniel Lee. We hope that you were able to learn a little bit more about Daniel and all of his roles and contributions to the iCCaRE Consortium. So our iCCaRE Insider series continues with another opportunity to meet another member of our team and learn more about the people working behind the scenes. So up next in the second episode, we will be featuring Mr. Quincy Wimberly. We invite you to continue watching as we learn more about Quincy's experiences, his work, and his perspective within the iCCaRE community. Now, before we get into it, if you do have any comments or any questions, for me or just in general, make sure that you drop it in the chat. And if we do have a little bit of extra time, we will address those comments or questions. So without any further ado, let's take a look into our next episode.
1 2 1 2. What's up? What's up? Now, this wanted me to do that for opening, so that's why. But welcome to the space. We are so glad that you are here with us for another behind the scenes with so many people who are making huge impacts in the community with iCCaRE. So with me today is Quincy, but I don't need no introduction. I'm gonna have him do his introduction. Welcome to the space.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, my name is Quincy Wimberly. I'm a current research program coordinator for iCCaRE Consortium, and I work within the CHIRP Lab, which stands for Cancer Health Equity Research Program.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
tell us a little about yourself, Joe. Break it down. What's your background? What brings you here today? What brings you to iCCaRE?
So, my background, I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. Shortly went off to pursue education. I came back. I got a bachelor's in public health. Okay. I went to Florida State University. Okay. I went to University of South Florida, and now I'm in a doctoral program.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been working with iCCaRE for about a year and a half now. So, well, almost a year and a half. So, time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Awesome. So I know you said you're on your way to get your doctorate. So when do we call you doctor? So I can be
about
ready.
3 years or so.
Okay, so I have some time.
I still got some time.
All right, watch out. Get that graduation list together, doctor. Now.
Oh, I did.
I love it. So tell me, we're about health. You know, you live, eat, sleep, breathe health. But what does accessible health look like to you? What does good health? What does great health? What does that look like for you? Sound like for you in your professional and personal growth and development?
Okay, from a professional standpoint, I think great health looks like the access that you were talking about. The access for someone that's walking on the street to go into a place and say, hey, I need help right now. And they get assistance as quickly as they need it, you know? And from a personal standpoint, that looks like me, a family member, a cousin, my brother, my sister, mom, dad, getting health access or services whenever they need at a time point, regardless of their societal kind of stigmatization when it comes to like what insurance do you have or what's your economic background, things of that nature. Like all health at any level for anyone at any time.
And then, you know, you brought up a good point. Access, the keyword is access. In your life, have you seen growing up the limitations of access to healthcare, and how have you overcome that in your personal life?
Right. I've seen that definitely early on. I'm no stranger to the impact of economic disadvantagements, I would say. Typically through insurance, that's how you get that big no, like, hey, not today, go somewhere else or down the street or across the city or things of that nature. So that's typically how I have witnessed how kind of a disadvantage to being to access to healthcare. Yeah, so the disadvantages of insurance is a big impact. However, to kind of make efforts to that is the access to information. As I've been kind of the one to go off to school and do these things and work in research currently, I feel like it's important for me to understand the navigation of the healthcare system and insurance and spread that knowledge as quickly as I can to my family, friends, people that's around me, colleagues, things of that nature.
Knowledge is power, and that is something that I don't care what anybody says, you cannot take knowledge away from us. So it's important that we receive it any way possible. During your intro, you're talking about your background, and you have a lot of schooling, like you said, on your way to doctoral. You know, I would need some type of motivation because look, after 1, 2, 3 years, I'm like, I need to get my paycheck. So what keeps you, and who are the people who mentor you and are still mentoring you on this journey, and even to be with iCCaRE?
I would say more recently, mentoring has came a big component within my life, especially as I joined the iCCaRE kind of consortium. So I would definitely say my supervisor and meeting with different PIs, principal investigators, the Dr. Odedna, Dr. Fu, Dr. Bolajoko, they kind of inspired me. Dr. Blocker, things of that nature, who work directly in iCCaRE, and they inspired me to, go to the next level and be a kind of a leader in research and produced great research for Black and brown community and others as well.
All right, like you said, get them names out there, shout them out so people know, so they know who they are. I love it. When it comes to that point of realization, that eureka, this is more than a job. And I can only imagine to continue schooling, there had to be some point that says, reason I'm pursuing and continuing is because this is not just about a paycheck. This is not just more about, oh, I want to live that doctory life and all that and be on Bravo with my own show. You know, what was it that was like, okay, this is more than just a job for you?
I would say basically the first 2 months in.
Oh, wow.
When I realized the impact we had with doing research, following protocols, doing the regulatory aspects, and then diving into the community work. The relationship we had with community members, it really sparked a more interest of saying, all right, this is something that I want to be a part of, and this is something that I want to say I touched and my legacy was a part of. And that kind of sparked the interest to continue pursuing more, I would say.
I love it. You know, like you said, you're thinking about long term. And, you know, legacy, when we think of legacy of your immediate family, like if you have an offspring. But you're looking at it from a totally and sometimes deeper mindset. Legacy is the people who I touch, the people who come and recognize me and say, hey, Quincy, can you help me with this? Or Quincy, let me introduce you to my family. Hey, Quincy, we're having a barbecue. I want you to come over. I like those because I like those too. So, hey, you know, every one of us, but that is a form of lasting legacy and it's so important. So I'm glad that you said that. Awesome, awesome. As we are continuing on this conversation, you know, we talked about the first part of tapped into that professional development and personal development. We're going to now tap into teamwork, or more importantly, behind the scenes. In your conversations, I hear a deep understanding of community. I hear a deep understanding of, like you said, what in part can I do? What seed can I plant to the community, which is so needed?
Right.
When you're thinking about that seed planting, what does that look like for a typical day for you? How do you plant these seeds across Duval and everywhere else?
Everywhere else, yeah. So I would say planting the seeds or just getting the work done, I would say. First off, it starts off with team meetings or scheduled meetings that's already on the calendar. We then go through our protocols, regulatory procedures, what events are coming up, what things that we need to get signed off, what things that we need to pay for to make these things kind of go within the community. And then sometimes the after-hours meetings are directly for community members, I would say. Throughout the time, throughout the week, it's the continuous meeting. Then you got the work time. Let me present this, let me create this, let me create the PowerPoint, Word document, things of that nature. And then you share those things, not only with the team members, but some documents with the community members as well. So they're a critical part within the research that we're doing. They help drive it.
So it sounds like, oh goodness, from meetings to logistics to making sure people get paychecks, and then the other part of being out there. How do you push through all that?
That's a good question. I would say balance.
Okay.
I mean, I have a good team. I have a great support system. I have a great leader as my supervisor. I've been grateful to be a part of this team, and when others can't make it to the event, we all pitch in and help. So I've been very fortunate enough to have people come with me to events, or I come with others, vice versa. And we just help kind of hold each other on track to what we're doing, especially when it comes to research-related things or clinical trials where it could be a lot of documents or protocols that we have to follow.
So it's about making each other accountable, but in a way that's loving,
right?
In a way that's
a supportive way, yes.
And supportive. What is, because again, I can only, just what you tell me, I can only assume of, okay, I'm at the computer 1 minute, and then, hey, I'm gonna turn my camera off right quick on Zoom to go get me some water, but then I gotta be right back, you know.
Because somebody asks you a question,
Exactly. What does that, you know, with that being stated, what are some things that we don't know? What are some things that you were like, hey, let me share with the community a different aspect of my job role that they haven't even thought of before of what you do?
So I would say, the relationships. That's a different part. So we work with many community members, and we have access to each other. So I'm a part of their life now. So this is not something that's a job. So I do get those phone calls like, hey, I was just thinking about something that we can add. And they may call me right after church on Sunday and ask me that. And I'm like, why are you calling me? But at the same time, I am embracing the relationship that we have, and now after months and months of building, now you look back and say, all right, yeah, that is someone I can call a friend, or that is someone that can be a part of my family. That's a family member that I look to if I see them on the street going somewhere. So, yeah.
When you say relationships and you said a range, what is that range? What is that range? What is the demographic? What is the age? Is it businesses, nonprofit? What is those relationships?
Yeah, so it could be anywhere that iCCaRE is touching at this point. Who wants to be accepted within the iCCaRE kind of consortium, and who wants to be a part of our research? That is typically the range. Like right now, for the clinical trial that I'm running, we work directly with American Legion Post. So a lot of veterans or commanders of the American Legion Post, that's typically what we work with. And they have loads of fun. They're super interested in the research at any time. And every month they'll call and say, hey, are you coming to the barbecue at the Post at the end of the month?
Yes, yes.
But yeah, that's typically the range. Like whoever wants to be involved within the research and build with us and give us insight.
So, you brought up a key, again, accessibility is what comes up in. And like you said, because people have access to you, and like you said, they may call at different times on Sunday, Monday, or whatnot, how do you push through and how do you have that balance when it comes to that community?
Yeah. So I would rely on scheduling. So we definitely, if I can't have everyone calling me at a certain time,
right.
I first have to do the scientific kind of meetings, meet with the principal investigators and things of that nature, but scheduled out times to where, say, hey, I know for sure on this Wednesday, I'm busy during these hours, but after this hour, this is dedicated for you, and this is structured out time. I feel like scheduling is the most important thing when it comes to working with so many people as the program coordinator, and balancing tasks, balancing timelines, things of that nature, honestly.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, I'm old, y'all. They believe it or not, the gray is coming in, and I am forgetful. So having those reminders are so important. How do you stay motivated? Because in the community, but community is not receptive at times,
Right.
and sometimes rightfully so, because of how the community has been treated. Especially when you think of my community, Black and Brown communities. Sometimes we're not welcoming. There's so much despair in there, and then here comes, okay, I'm gonna come and save you, but how do you stay motivated through these things?
I think something I said earlier is like the impact that we're making. And that's something I don't take for granted. Knowing that I'm impacting someone's loved one and that looks directly like me, and providing something as like a educational access point or something that's direct interventional within our life, it gives me great joy that I'm doing. So for instance, just a quick kind of brain teaser, or not brain teaser, but something to know is that during the clinical trial that I was working directly up under, it was related with prostate cancer, and because of that, a man that was in our clinical trial, he said, because of this, because of seeing you and you teaching me about it, I want to go get my PSA checked. Wow. And I know now what I need to take serious to kind of have longevity within my life.
And then they say, especially when it comes to prostate cancer, that the earliest and one of the best ways to, continue to save your life is by getting early detection.
Right.
The earlier, the better. So, I'm glad to hear that. And that's about getting information where people are doing change. Not like you said, we don't not just be hearers of the word, but be doers of the word too as well. So I love it. I love it. Yeah. You talked about teamwork earlier. You talked about how we work together. We come together. How does your team come together during those difficult times? How does your team come together when you have a community event and there is more people than vendors, or vice versa? How does your team work through these type of difficulties?
So we leverage each other's strengths. If I know I'm more technical savvy, or I know I'm better in this area, okay, hey, I will deal with the recruiting side or the face-to-face interaction. Hey, someone else, I need you to do this kind of reporting aspect or the follow-up procedures. Leveraging each other's strengths and knowing your team members is very critical to getting kind of the work done and pushing it forward before we even make it to the event. Running those logistics, going over how, things are going to get done in a timely manner. So, I would say that.
Awesome. What is one thing or maybe multiple things that you like about your team? We heard it earlier from one of our guests that sometimes you can't pick your family, but you can pick but you can pick your team sometimes, or the people you work with, and that's what helps when it comes to the longevity and working together. But what is it that you love about your team?
Yeah, so I love the joyfulness that we get together, and we joke, we laugh, we play outside of the stressful work that we may encounter, or some things that we have to get in a timely manner, the deliverables. There is downtime where we get to communicate with each other and have relationship building context, to where it kind of makes the work kind of seamless when I need to ask them for assistance or help or just guidance on something that I need. Yeah.
It's one of those things I tell you, you have to have some type of enjoyment. If
Yeah.
there is no fun or enjoyment,
Yeah.
you're not going to last long. You have to, no such thing as a perfect job, but you have to have some type of joy
Right.
and feel valued in some type of way. When it comes to your team and the community, especially Black and Brown communities, minority communities, less fortunate disenfranchised communities, how do y'all make sure that they feel loved, valued, and heard?
Right. So we prioritize anything that they access to, right? It's like coming from a retail aspect kind of perspective. So
Okay.
you know how you go into retail stores and they say, the customer always comes first. However, in research-related projects, we always prioritize community first. So that's kind of the driving force or the driving factor of our lab. So at any time or any moment, if I receive that phone call, or if I get that, hey, could I pull you for a chat? I need to get more insight on this, on what should I share, on what is happening. All right, you come first before anything else. So it's kind of like a drop everything what I'm doing, and let me address what you need me to do. And then I take those back to the team, and we deliver actionable steps.
Well, I think it's worth sacrifice.
Yeah.
There has to be
Right.
some type of sacrifice in order to be a good leader, and then also to be a good servant, because we are here to serve the community. We are here to provide research to the community. So important, so important. As we're continuing, because it's a good conversation, as we're continuing, let's look at down the road. Let's look at 3, 5 years, 10 years. What is it that you want, as you said before, legacy?
Yeah.
What does that legacy look for Dr. Quincy? Because doctor's going to be in there
I guess so,
at
yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
So what does that look like for Dr. Quincy?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it is not something that, I'm not looking for something that's built out of nowhere. Rome wasn't built in one day.
No.
So it's the kind of the community perspectives, the one-to-one relationship that we have, and people reflecting on it and say, hey, I can vouch for the iCCaRE Consortium and say they impacted many lives within this area. They impacted many men within this area, women, things of that nature, through their programs and services. And now that adds value to their offspring and their knowledge base and information that they can provide to the community. So that's kind of like a each one teach one kind of perspective.
How would you come about, and again, long term, because as we see in the community, resources are being attacked.
Right.
Resources are being pulled back. When you think about restoring those, and what does restoration look like? Ooh, watch out, I'm sorry. What does restoration look like? How would you, what would Dr. Quincy do for restoration of resources?
For restoration, yes. I
Yes.
think the iCCaRE Consortium is doing great in creating the pathway to restoration.
Okay.
So through the grants that we're working with, we're providing access points to create like a community living lab, to create the community farm or community, anything community-wise, to where they can have stability to create the kind of foundation and go forward from there, right? So I think that restoration pathway lies within us. We're the direct drivers of that. And we give them the keys after we're done and say, hey, keep this moving forward with the teachings and education and aspects that we've given you.
What does community look like for you when you're thinking about these resources, restoration? We're thinking about all these things. What do you think? What would you like community to look like, feel,
Right.
taste like? What do you want? What do you would like that to be
Right.
within the next 5 to 10 years?
I would honestly want the community to just have a healthy longevity of life. So Whether that looks like the transportation that they have, the food that they are accessing, the monetary things that they can get directly within their community if they need access or support or aid. Um, Something that looks like in a walkable distance for somebody. That's kind of what I would say if a healthy community, what it looks like.
Awesome. And of course, with community, we can't do it alone.
Right.
It's going to take these goals, these dreams to come into realization, and they can and will happen, but it takes people. So what do you say to these people who are looking, who are reviewing, who are like, hey, I identify with these goals? What would you tell them to get that activation started?
Right. I would say reach out to your community leaders, right? You find your community leaders and say, hey, this is what I know about the community, and I want to add value. What do you know? And how can I help? How can I assist? So I would say start out by finding the community leader, and they can provide guidance. Or if you don't have one, start becoming the community leader yourself and create those kind of town hall events and talk and discuss among other people to create following.
2 questions on community leaders. What makes a community leader, and who would you say are community leaders?
That's a tough one.
I know, like I said, take a minute. Look, you said community leader. I said, ooh, I got to ask this quick.
I mean, a community leader could be in all aspects of what we think in all dynamics. A community leader could be the grandma of the family. It could be the one down the street that you know, his house is always open for me to get a water bottle if I need some. So it's just finding people who have those aspects of leadership and show qualities of significant kind of investment and wanting to see others around them grow as well. So I would say that was kind of be a community leader, and about finding them or kind of starting that kind of trajectories is showing your character, I would say. So outside of the research, outside of what we're doing, like it has to have a lot of character in what we're doing.
Talk about that character right quick.
Yeah.
What does that character look like? What, hey, I'm telling y'all people, I'm trying to give y'all the blueprint so y'all can be prepared to see Dr. Quincy. So when you say character, what is that? What is that? What are some of those attributes right quick?
I mean, the main attribute is being selfless. So you have to be selfless instead of being selfish. So, and that comes with all aspects.
I'm telling you, I love it. Watch out now.
Yeah. And that comes with everything in life, like putting someone else first before whatever you need to get done. Or if someone calls you and say, hey, I just really need help. I'm on the side of the road. I need my tire changed. And you say, you know what? I'm not doing anything. I'll come help you. That's one part of being a leader. You know, my father used to always tell me, and he still does, be a leader, never a follower. And just whatever you're going through, whatever pathway you're going through, just becoming a leader in that avenue.
You know what? I'm about to stop because I'm about to make this into, as I say, Oprah's master's class. Yeah. I'm about to make this iCCaRE's master class because this is good. But more importantly, we hope that you take these attributes, apply these attributes, because you are leaders and you can pass this information and you can partner with iCCaRE in so many different ways and fashions with Google. As we like to leave out, we always like to leave something fun, something, to lighten the load as you write your life lessons of how I need to do better in life. But one of the fun things that we like to ask here on the show is a theme song, or what is a song that identifies you in your team? What would it be?
Okay. I would say I love the song for me and the team of J. Cole, Love Yours.
Okay, all right.
We love the things that we have, but we do want more, but it's nothing more impactful than loving the work that you do.
All right. So I'm going to end right there. It was towards the end of the interview. I think that was a really great point to leave it off on. I just want to thank everybody again for joining us for today's iCCaRE Insider Screening. We hope that you enjoyed these conversations and gained a deeper appreciation for the people who contribute their time, their expertise, energy, and their passion to help provide all of the work that we do. And I also want to give a special thank you to Stephen Johnson for hosting this series and a bunch of our other iCARE series and helping us spotlight these incredible individuals behind the iCARE Consortium. Now, we encourage you to stay connected with us for more stories, updates, insights from our team by following us on all of our social media platforms. And we want to thank you so much for being a part of the iCARE Consortium community. And we hope that you have a great start to the weekend, and we will see you next time. Bye.